Welcome back to another class on Gemara Journey with Rashi. We are continuing in Masecht Berachot Daf amud Aleph. This will be part 4 of the Shi'ur. We are beginning 2 lines from the bottom of the Gemara. Tanu Rabbanan, the rabbis taught, Mipnei shalosh devarim en nichnasim lechurba. Because of 3 things, one is not allowed to enter into a ruin. Mipnei chashad, because of suspicion. Rashi says, Mipnei chashad, Shelo yumru zonam muchenet lo sham. So people shouldn't say that he has a harlot that is prepared for him there. The second reason is mipnei hamapolet, because of the walls falling down. Rashi says mipnei hamapolet shechomat hachurba re'uah, because the walls of the ruin, they're shaking. Umisukanhu, and is dangerous, penti pol hachoma alav, lest the wall is going to fall on him. That's the second reason. Umepnei hamazikin, and because of the demons that can do damage to the person that enters into a ruin. So we see from the Gemara 3 reasons why a person is not allowed to enter into the ruin. First reason is because of chashad. The second reason is because of the mapolet. And the third reason is because of mazikin. Chashad, the reason why you're not allowed to enter, because people are going to suspect you, thinking you have a harlot waiting for you there. The reason why you're not allowed to enter because of mapolet, because we're afraid the ruin, when you have a broken house, the walls are shaky. Like Rashi says, they're shaky. And it's dangerous. If you're going to enter, it can fall on you. So that's why you're not allowed to enter. And the third reason is because of the demons. When a person enters in a ruin, usually demons are found there, and they can go ahead and they can damage the person. That's why for all these 3 things, a person is not allowed to go ahead and enter into a ruin. The Gemara begins asking a question. We said that because of 3 things, you're not allowed to enter into the ruin. And one of the 3 things is mipnei chashad, because of suspicion. So the Gemara says, 1 second, mipnei chashad, you're telling me I'm not allowed to enter into the ruin because of chashad. V'tepukle mishum mapolet. Let the Tana derive it because of mapolet, because of the wall falling down. Why do I need chashad? Let's see Rashi. Rashi says, Tepukle, let the Tana derive it. Koloimar, lama lanu gimel ta'amim l'davar echad. Why do I need 3 reasons for one thing? Why do I need chashad, mapolet, and mazikin? Rabotai, get it down the words. It's much easier when I say it in Hebrew. And you'll see, you'll get a better understanding also. Chashad, suspicion. Mapolet, the wall might collapse. And mazikin is the demons. Alright? Why do I need chashad, mapolet, and mazikin? For one thing, for a churba, for a ruin. So he says like this, Lama lanu gimel ta'amim l'davar echad. Why do I need 3 reasons for one thing? Harei dai be'echad behem. If you would have told me one of them, I wouldn't enter a ruin. So what do I need 3? So Rashi continues and he says, Imlo, unless ba'alam decha, unless the Tana is coming to teach us, sheyesh sha'ot she'en hatam hazeh. Maybe you have times when it's not usher to enter into the ruin because of that reason. V'tzarik lahanich b'shul zeh. That's why he has to go ahead and he has to write the other reasons in order for you not to enter into the ruin. So, Rabotai, like usual, when we turn the page, we kiss the page, we do it with love, we do it with music. Okay. Rabbi side, turn the page, kiss the page, love the page, be with the page, sleep with the page. Everything, Rabotai, is about the page. Rabotai, the Gemara answers. Why can't I use, again, let's get back to the question. Why can't I use 1 reason? Why do you need 3 reasons? And in our question, we're going to start dissecting each reason one by one. We had chashad, mapolet, mazikin. So the Gemara says, why did you have to learn out from chashad? Had you learned out from mazikin, I also wouldn't enter. The Gemara answers, bechadaditi. The Gemara answers, we are dealing with a new ruin. What does that mean? Rashi says, Bechadaditi shenafla mechadash, that the walls recently fell. Shehachoma shela nafla ve'odena bechazakata, that the wall, its wall, recently fell, but is still strong. Now, Rabotai, if you see that there is a chet next to Rashi, we have to look into the Haggadah Yitzunim. But before we do that, let's try to see what Rashi is saying, and then we'll see how the Ya'avetz and the Maharitz, Chiyut, and the Rashash, how they want to explain completely different. But let's first get Rashi in. Rashi says one more time, Bechadaditi, we're dealing with a new rule, Shenafla mechadash, that the walls recently fell, Shehachoma shela nafla. The way, if you're going to read the Rashi like that, that its wall fell, Vodena b'chezkata, but it's still strong. Now, when I read this Rashi, in my humble opinion, I understand it like this. Right? If you're looking at, let's say you had 4 walls in a house, you had 1 or 2 walls, they fell. But you had another wall that was, because if those walls fell, they fell. That's not a problem, because they're not going to fall on me, chas v'shalom. But let's say, the way I'm understanding Rashi right now, before the amendment, he says, Shehachoma shela, that its wall, nafla, it fell, ve'oden b'chezkata, and it's still strong. Rashi said in the Dibra Matchil before, because he said that Shehachoma ha'churba ru'ah, because the walls of the ruin, they're shaky. Ru'ah means shaky. And over here he says, ve'odena b'chezkata, but it's still strong. What does that mean? What is it's still strong? So if I might learn this Rashi without any amendments, that he says Shehachoma shela nafla, that its wall fell, but it's still strong because it's a new building, it's a new house. I'm not afraid it's not going to fall. So according to the way Rashi wants to learn, it makes sense why he had to teach me chashad, because if you're walking into a new ruin, you don't have the reason of mapolit. You don't have the reason that the wall is going to fall. So you might enter. So comes the Gemara and tells you that's why I needed chashad. You still cannot enter because people are going to suspect you. Maybe you have a harlot waiting for you there. That is the way I understand Rashi, Rabotai, in my humble opinion. Now, you look into the Yavetz, we'll go with their Rabotai. I'm nobody compared to them. I'm not even the nail on their toe, Rabotai. Put it to you like that. But let's look in Ot Chet. The Yavetz and Maharitz Chiyut, they want to learn this Rashi, they want to change one word. If you pay close attention, you have 2 words that are highlighted in the Haggadah Yitzunim, Shelo and Odena. Okay, so you're going to read it like this. Shehachoma shelo nafla, that the wall didn't fall. Not like I was learning that the wall fell and it stopped in the middle. Shelo nafla, it didn't fall. Odena bechazkata, and it's still strong. You take away the vav. Rabotai, pay close attention. When you look into Rashi says, Shehachoma shela nafla, its wall fell. He says that word shela has to be shelo. When it says ve'odena, take away the vav and put odena. So if we're going to read it like the way Yavis wants to explain, it's going to be like this. Shedafla mechadash, that we're dealing with a new ruin, right? And the walls recently fell. You had 1 or 2 walls, they probably did fall. But he says, but you still had a wall that did not fall. We had 2 walls that did not fall, and they're still strong. And let me read for you in the Rashi now. I'm reading with the Rashi with the amendments from the Yavetz. Shehachoma shelo nafla, that the wall, it didn't fall. You see, I'm using instead of saying shalah with a hey, I'm saying shelo with an aleph. Shehachoma shelo nafla, that the wall didn't fall. I'm taking away the word vav. Odena bechezkata, and it's still strong. So according to what the way Yavis wants to explain, he's telling us like this, that you might, recently you had other walls that did fall, but you still have 1 or 2, even 3 maybe walls, you still have it. Just one wall maybe fell, but you still have 3 walls that didn't fall, and they are all still strong. That is the way the Yavis wants to explain the Rashi. So it doesn't matter whichever way you want to learn, but the point is, we see from over here, why did the Gemara have to tell me mipnei chashad when you could have learned out because of mapolit? So the Gemara answers, if I would have told you because of mapolit, what happens if it's a brand new ruin? You would have thought you're allowed to enter because there's no problem, there's no danger with the wall falling on you. Comes the Gemara, and that's why I had to teach you chashad. They had to teach you, still don't enter because of suspicion. The Gemara asks the next question. V'tepek le mishum mazikin. Okay, fine. You don't want to learn that from the Bapol because you're dealing with a new rune? Fine. Why don't you learn that from mazikin? Had the Gemara written the word demons, you shouldn't enter into the rune because of demons. I want to enter. Why did you have to tell me because of suspicion also? Why did you have to tell me mipnei chashad? So one more time. V'tepek le mishum mazikin. Let the Tana learn it out. Because of mazikin, you're not allowed to enter into a rune. The Gemara answers, no, you know why? What happens if you have two people entering? You have two people entering into a rune. Betray. So the Gemara asks a question. I betray chashadam ileika. So what is he really answering? I'll put it to you like this. What is he really answering? He's saying like this. You wanted to learn out that the reason why I'm not allowed to enter a rune is because of the mazikin. So therefore we should have kept out chashad. So the Gemara says with two people, you are allowed to enter the room with two people because when you have two people, the demons cannot damage you. So the Gemara asks the obvious question, one second. So if you're with two people, chashad nami leika. You also don't have any suspicion. If you have two men walking into a room, we won't have any suspicion that there's a harlot waiting for him there. How do we know that? Rashi Rabotai. Rashi says chashad nami leika. Ditna, like it was taught in the Mishnah. Masecht Berachot Daf Pei amud bet. That's page 80, side 2. Aval, it says clearly over there. Aval isha mityachedet im shnei anashim. A woman is allowed to go ahead and she's allowed to seclude herself with two men. So you clearly see. Why do you have to tell me the reason why I had to write chashad is because when you deal with the mazikin, over there two people enter, so the demons cannot do any damage. So you would have thought now, maybe two people can enter into the room without a problem. So that's why I needed to write the chashad, so to tell you, two men shouldn't enter into the room because we don't want people to suspect them. Yeah, good for you, because it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make sense. Why? If you're speaking about two people, suspicion you also don't have. Because like the Gemara says, Masecht Berachot Daf, a woman is allowed to seclude herself with two men. So if that's the case, why didn't you learn out from the mazikin? Why do I need chashad case? Because technically you're allowed to enter with two men into a room, and nobody's going to suspect that there's woman because technically a woman is allowed to go ahead and seclude herself with them. So the Gemara says no. The reason why I still needed chashad, and the reason why you wouldn't be able to learn out from mazikin, because like this he says, bitrei upiritei. We're dealing with two men that are immoral men. Men that are paruts. They breach halachot, they don't care. Now that's why I had to tell you the reason of chashad. You're right. Again, you told me why do you have to learn out mipnei chashad? Learn out mipnei mazikin. So why did you answer me? Why can't I learn out from mazikin and I need chashad because of two people? When two people enter, mazikin cannot do damage, but two people can enter. You might have over there chashad. Why should I have chashad? On the contrary, we see clearly a woman's allowed to seclude herself with two men, and we're not going to suspect anything. He's like, you're right. We're speaking about over here two immoral men. When you have two immoral men, they're not allowed to enter into a room. Because when they're immoral, people are going to start suspecting. People are going to start suspecting maybe they have a zona waiting for them inside there. So that's why when you go back to our original question, mipnei chashad, we said, right? Why did you have to learn that mipnei chashad? Not because of mipnei mazikin. You could have easily told me because of mazikin. I couldn't have. I needed to teach you chashad because when you're dealing with two men that are immoral, they would have entered. Now the Gemara comes and tells you because of chashad, you're not allowed to enter. Even two men are not allowed to enter. Okay. Now the Gemara moves to the next step. Remember, we had three things. We had chashad, mapolit, and mazikin. So we took care of why chashad has to be written. We were not able to come out of it. Number one, we gave the answer. If you're dealing with a new rune, a person can walk in because the wall is not going to fall, but still he should walk in because of suspicion. Then you want to say because of mazikin, you answered because of two people, but for chashad, we entered with two people that are immoral. That's what we need chashad. But now the Gemara is going to go and focus on the second reason. Why did you have to write because of mapolit? Why should the Gemara says, Mipnei mapolit, you said I'm not allowed to enter the room because of the wall falling down. Why? V'tepikle mishum chashad u'mazikin. I don't get it. Why don't you just go and learn straight out, directly? Why don't you learn out from chashad, now that we have it, and mazikin right away? Why don't you learn out? Just write two things. The reason why you're not allowed to enter the room is because of chashad and because of mazikin. So the Gemara says, do you know why? And so why do I need the mapolit? Take away the mapolit. He says, no. I still need the mapolit. Do you know why? Bitrei ukisharei. Because now we're dealing with two men and they're moral men, they're kosher men. They follow halachot. You're right. Chashad, we're not afraid because it's two men, kosher men. They're moral men. We're not afraid that somebody's going to suspect them. So that's why you cannot learn that from chashad. Because of mazikin, also you cannot learn that because if two people, the demons cannot do damage to him. Beautiful. So that's why I needed mapolit. Because even with two men, mapolit will collapse on them. If the wall falls, both of their lives are going to be in danger. So that's what we see now, why you need chashad and why you need mapolit. Continues the Gemara says that and moves down to the third thing, which was the mazikin. The Gemara says, Mipnei mazikin, you told me before that I'm not allowed to enter into the room because of the demons. 1 second. Let the Tana derive it, that the reason why I'm not allowed to enter into the room is because of chashad and mapolit. Why do I need mazikin? If you tell me I can't enter into the room because of people are going to suspect me or because maybe the wall is going to fall, so why do you have to tell me mazikin? So the Gemara says, I'll tell you why you could not have learned out from the chashad and mapolit and why you need the mazikin. He says because you're dealing over here with bichur b'chadaditi, you're dealing with here with a new rune, ubetrei ukishrei. You're dealing like this, Rabotai. You're dealing with, we don't have chashad because it's two kosher people. So therefore, from that you're not going to learn out. Bichur b'chadaditi, and it's also a new rune. The wall is not going to fall on you. So why do you need the mazikin? Because he says, two people still can enter there. So that's why I need the mazikin to come. That's why I need the case of the mazikin to tell you two people cannot enter there. The Gemara says, once that doesn't make sense. If you're dealing with two people, didn't you say on top? Mazikin nami leika. If it's two people, you don't have the demons that are able to do damage. Didn't you say that on top? Rabotai, one more time. Mipnei mazikin, we said, the whole reason why we learned out that you're not allowed to come into the room is because of the mazikin. What I need the case of mazikin, take it out. Learn it out because of chashad and mapolit that I'm not allowed to enter. So the Gemara says, no, I still needed the case of mazikin. Why? Because if we're dealing with the churba chadaditi, you don't have the case of mapolit. So that's out. Because if I would have only written mapolit, now there's no problem with mapolit. The wall is not falling because there's a new rune. If I would have told you because of chashad, it's two kosher people coming in. So again, you now thinking, I could enter. That's what the Gemara says, I need the case of mazikin. The Gemara attacks immediately. But if you're dealing with two people, mazikin nami leika. But you don't have mazikin when you have two people. We said on top of the first line, we said, v'tepikle mishum mazikin. Why don't you learn that from mazikin? Bitrei. No, we said because we're dealing with two people. So when you have two people, they don't do damage. So you see, clearly you said they don't do damage. The Gemara says, 1 second. B'mkomam chashina. When they are in their place, we are afraid of two people. What does that mean? Rashi says, "B'makom shem mitzuim tadir," in a place where the demons are commonly or constantly found, chashinan afilu b'trei. We are afraid even with two people. So that's why, Rabotai, if you would have told me right now, let me learn out from mapolit and from chashad and leave out the mazikin, that would not be good. Why? Because for the mapolit, it's a new rune. So you don't have that reason. So I could enter now. Because of chashad, you don't have that reason. Because it's two moral people. So I could enter now. So I had to tell you, mazikin, don't enter because of mazikin. Because sins are constantly found there. And even if you're two people, they still can damage you. That's what the Gemara wants to answer. That's what we see from now. you need all three reasons. You need chashad, you need mapolet, and you need mazikin. Now, if you just go back to the Rashi, just go back to the Rashi for a second, in Tepukle one more time. Love the Rashi, Rabotai, understand the Rashi very nice. Now he says, Lama lanu gimel tamim l'davar echad. Why do I need three reasons for one thing? Right? It should have been enough with one of them. Unless because now he says, unless it comes to teach you that at times one of the other reasons are not going to be applicable, so that's you're going to need the other thing. And now we can understand. Because as we saw, when we went with each one by one, we saw that it was not applicable. That's why you needed to leave each one in their place. You ask me, chashad, why do you have to learn from chashad? Learn from mazikim? No, we need chashad. You ask me, learn from my polit? No, we need chashad. You said, why do you have to learn from the mapolit? Learn that from chashad and mazikim? No, we need mapolit. You ask, why do you have to learn from mazikim? Learn that from chashad and mapolit? No, we need mazikim. So, and again, I'm not going to go through every reason because we already did it, but I'm just trying to show you over here, that's what Rashi is telling us. The Tana was coming to teach us that the reason I need all three reasons, because sometimes these can be applicable and these cannot be applicable. So what are you going to do? If you're going to go only with one or two of them, maybe they're not applicable, so you think you can enter. Comes the other reason, tells you, stay out. Because now it's really applicable for you not to enter. Okay. Rabotai, three more lines, Belineder, we get to the two dots. If you want, I'll give you another answer. When we're dealing with the case with Mipnei Mazikin. If you didn't like my answer, when it says over here, why did you have to learn out that I'm not allowed to enter into the Chubra because of the demons? Right? We said let him learn out from Chashad Umapolit. So the Gemara says, if you didn't like my answer with Trei Ukashrei, that two people where because the demons are constantly, even two people they can do damage, says I'll give you another answer. If you want, I'll say like this. Really, we're dealing over here with one person. We're dealing with a new rune that is standing in a field. How did I know the word b'debar meant field? You look into Rashi. B'debar says basadeh, in the field. Dahate mishum chashad, like over there you don't have because of chashad. Why don't you have chashad? Da isha b'debar lo shchicha, because a woman is not found in the field. Umishum mazikin ika. However, because of mazikin you do have in the churba. So that's why if it's one, they could damage one. So let me tell you outside of my words, and then I'll read it one more time for you inside. We want to give another. If you didn't like my answer with two, the Gemara is saying, I'll give another answer. Really, we're dealing with a new rune, but it's where it's in a field. So what was our initial question? Why do I need the case of mazikin? Learn out mapolit and learn out chashad. What did the Gemara answer? We're dealing with a rune that's in the field. So if we're dealing with the rune that's in the field, if we're dealing with the new rune that's in the field. So we have mapolit and chashad. So if it's a new rune in the field, let's go like this. If it's a new rune, it takes away the problem of mapolit. You don't have the problem of mapolit. So now I can enter. I have one reason to enter. Since it's in the field, I don't have the problem of chashad, so I can enter. Comes the Gemara and tells you that's why I need the mazikin, because when you're by yourself, the demons are found in the rune and they can damage you. That's what Rabotai is telling us over here. That's what we need in all three cases. However you want to learn, with two people, with one people, with each one, I'm able to go ahead and make sense. Rabotai, let's just run through the Gemara really quick from Tanu Rabban one more time, just to get it in. Tanu Rabban, the rabbis taught, because of three things, one is not allowed to enter into a rune. You're not allowed to enter into the rune because of suspicion, because of the walls falling down, and because of the demons, that they can damage you. The Gemara says, why do you have to learn out because of chashad? Just learn out because of mapolit. The Gemara says, we're dealing with a new rune. Okay, fine. So why don't you learn it out from mazikin? Why do I need chashad still? Betray, because we're dealing with two people that if they walk into a room, mazikin you don't have, chashad you do have. The Gemara says, 1 second. If betray chashad namilek, if you're dealing with two people, chashad also you don't have, like we saw Masecht Kiddushin, daf pei amud bet. The Gemara says, betray upiritze, we're dealing with two immoral men. That's why I need the chashad to tell you you're not allowed to enter. The Gemara continues, you said I'm not allowed to enter the room because of the walls falling down. Why? Learn now, the reason why I'm not allowed to enter into the room is because of chashad and mazikin. And I don't need the case of the mapolit. The Gemara is telling you, no. We're dealing over here with betrei ukashrei. We're dealing over here with two moral men. When you have two men, it takes away the problem of mazikin. When you have two kosher men, it takes away the problem of chashad. But still you have the problem of the wall falling down. That's why I need to still leave the wall in the equation. Meaning the wall that's falling down, the mapolit case, I need to leave it in the equation. Continues the Gemara says, Meprei mazikin. We said that you're not allowed to enter into a room because of the demons that can damage you. Why do I have to write the case of the mazikin? Why don't you go ahead and derive the reason why I'm not allowed to enter into a room is because of chashad umapolit. The Gemara answered, the Gemara answered that if you want to learn out from chashad and mapolit, we're dealing with a new rune where mapolit doesn't exist, with two moral men where chashad doesn't exist, but still the mazikin, they can go ahead and damage two people. The Gemara asks a question. If you're dealing with two people, mazikin amileki, you don't have the demons, they cannot do damage to you. The Gemara answers, no, b'mkoman chashinan. In the place where they're constantly found, we are concerned even two people they could go ahead and damage. And if you want, I'll give you another answer. Really, we're dealing over here with really one person. And still I need the case of the mazikin. Why? We're dealing with a case where the rune, it's a new rune that is standing in the field. Over there you don't have because of chashad. Because a woman is not found in the field. So you take away the problem of chashad, doesn't exist. So you think I can enter. You take away the problem of mapolit because it's a new rune. So you think I can enter. Comes the Gemara and says, no, because since you're one, you still have the case of mazikin inside that rune, and they can damage you, those demons. That's why you're not allowed to enter. Rabotai, have a blessed day, have a great day. Baruch Adonai Olam, Amen ve'Amen.